Yo, what is up, guys? So, one more video for the weekend that I wanted to get down to because Paddy the Baddy is going to allegedly fight at UFC 309. And it's not against Renato Moicano because Renato is busy with the Benoit Saint Denis fight. And honestly, that's a punch up for Renato. I honestly feel like I feel like Benoit is going to have a comeback in that fight, and he's going to be on the table for more fights afterwards. But that takes away the Paddy the Baddy versus Renato Moicano potential for at least this year. Paddy's not waiting. He wants to go for somebody. Could he go for Jalen Turner? Yeah, but I think Jalen's slated to fight someone else. But I do think that would be an interesting matchup itself, too, especially when you add Jalen's reach against Paddy the Baddy. I think that's going to be really, really hard for Paddy to close the distance on that one. He's not going to wait for Bobby to take it to the ground, or he's not going to wait for Jalen to take it to the ground like Bobby, I think he honestly should go for that one, like guys around his age range. But I'm only saying he's punching way up in the rankings, kind of, because it's against Beneil Dariush, who obviously is on a bit of a skid. Now Beneil, for being in the game as long as he has, he's been here for a while, longer than I could remember. And then he was a top contender for a number one contender spot eliminator with Charles Oliveira, which, he got finished in the first round. It happens. But ever since then, Arman Sarukian finishes him. So he might be a little softened up. Those two fights might have given him a little bit of damage that he doesn't need. So I feel like Paddy the Baddy right now sees, okay, this is a good slate into the rankings, get a big name. And from a business perspective, from a management perspective, I'm not going to say I wouldn't do the same thing. And after that, Paddy's definitely got a bigger number, like a smaller number next to his name, But he could always have that ranking, and then he could defend it against Renato if he wants to, then Jalen Turner. But he's even on the radar of Islam Makhachev. And Islam knows talent when he sees it. And I'm going to be honest, I know a lot of people love to hate Paddy Pimblett. He has some very obvious criticisms that are his way, and I'm not discounting them. But when it comes down to fighting, he has backed it up at nearly every point. Even though he came back against the Jared Gordon fight, which a lot of people thought he actually lost, he came back, beat Tony Ferguson, and then beat Bobby Green, both in spectacular fashion. Like I said, that Tony Ferguson fight, I had a feeling Paddy was going to win that one, but I didn't think he was going to win it that decisively. I didn't think he was going to put up that much against Tony Ferguson. However, he did, and he's showing more and more promise. So for a guy who has exceeded the expectation so far, because he did just beat Bobby Green, let's remember that. He beat Bobby Green, and Bobby Green's obviously a low-level gatekeeper when it comes to the rankings. Going up against Beneil Dariush, who is the best target to go for right now, this could either go really good. He's got really not much to gain for anyone who understands the sport. But if he loses to Beneil Dariush, he has everything to lose. And he has every criticism to face. Because he's still got a lot of internet haters that are going to pounce on that, let's be real. So if Beneil Dariush is able to get it done, what's Paddy's strength? Jiu-jitsu. What's Beneil Dariush's strength? Jiu-jitsu. And Beneil Dariush can take big shots. We saw that in that one fight. I forget who he was facing down on the same card where I believe it was Zhang Wei Li was facing Joanna Jędrzejczyk. He came back from a very onslaught and then knocked this dude out. And he can take and he could give. He's got really good hands, better than Bobby Green, obviously. So I feel like Paddy's in a little bit more danger than we want to believe. In fact, I think Paddy knows this. If Paddy's self-aware, he should win this fight. If he's sleeping on Beneil, he's going to probably eat some words. But this is going to be a very telling fight. And I'm actually just glad that Paddy's, open to facing the closest target he can, Not because I feel like Beneil is going to be an easy target. Like I said, all the attributes that I have laid out that Beneil's got, he's still... You lose to Charles Oliveira and Arman Sarukian, okay? Those guys are like the top of the top, the cream of the crop. No, they're the cream of the crop. And he's going to look for a bounce-back fight. Now, if he loses this, then yeah, I think it's safe to say that Beneil should probably think about hanging it up very soon and maybe go out on a retirement fight. But let's not sleep on Beneil. So who do I have as my favorite and my underdog? Paddy's going to be the underdog on this one. Just because Beneil, I feel, still has something left to give, but Paddy can still get it done. And what if he submits Beneil Dariush? There's not too much excuses we can make on why Paddy's overrated after that. You know, that's some pretty high-level jiu-jitsu. Say what you want about Paddy striking after that. They're going to find a reason to hate him. But if he submits Beneil, his jiu-jitsu is way better than we thought. Okay? But I don't know if a submission is going to happen. It's definitely going to come down to who the better striker is. And Beneil definitely has that on the tank if he's still in his prime. If he's not in his prime anymore, then yeah, Paddy could clip him. But I still don't see Beneil as out the door just yet. So I'm going to rank him as a slight favorite in this one. But I'm looking forward. I know the main event of 309, Jon Jones versus Stipe, this is the fight not a lot of people wanted to see. A lot of people would rather see Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. But, hey, you know, at least they're giving us some sweets with the side of our liver, if you know what I'm saying. Probably not. But the card leading up to the main event is going to be pretty awesome. It's shaping out to be pretty awesome if they choose to go forward with this fight. Everything I'm saying has just been articles I've been reading and just posts where they're talking about it. It's not final until it's final, but if they make it final, let's go.